Pause right there. Ignore Lucia for a second. Look at everything happening behind her. People are talking. Someone is recording. Traffic is still moving. And almost nobody in this scene seems to care that the main character is standing there. The first few times I watched Rockstar's trailer, I barely noticed any of this. I was focused on the graphics, the cars, Jason and Lucia, but after watching the footage frame by frame, I started noticing the same pattern in almost every scene. Rockstar keeps showing us a world that appears to be living without the player. And if those background details are more than decoration, GTA 6's biggest upgrade might not be its graphics or its map. It might be the world itself. But to understand why that matters, we need to look at what Rockstar spends an unusual amount of trailer time showing. Ordinary people doing ordinary things. Think about how important every second of a Rockstar trailer is. Millions of people pause every frame, every vehicle gets identified, every location gets compared to the map, every line of dialogue gets turned into a theory. Rockstar knows this. So why do they spend so much time showing people who apparently have nothing to do with the main story? Tourists walking along the beach, people hanging outside businesses, workers going about their day, drivers moving through traffic, boats crossing the water, wildlife spread throughout Leonardo. These moments are not huge action scenes. They are not dramatic story reveals. Most of them are just life. And that is exactly why they matter. In many open world games, the environment feels like it exists for the player. You enter an area, the activity begins, and once you leave, everything feels like it resets. But the impression Rockstar is creating with GTA 6 is different. It feels like we are arriving in the middle of something that was already happening. The people were already there, the traffic was already moving, the arguments, parties, jobs, and conversations did not begin because Jason appeared. And that may sound like a small difference, but it completely changes how a world feels. A detailed map gives you somewhere to explore, a believable world gives you a reason to keep watching. The more I focus on the background, the more I stop seeing these people as simple scenery. They appear to be watching events, responding to situations, recording what is happening around them. That does not confirm some revolutionary AI system, but it does lead to a much more interesting question. What happens when these people stop being background decoration and become part of the gameplay? Because that could change for more than how the city looks. It could change how crime works. Think about committing a crime in GTA 5. You steal a vehicle, someone panics, the police are alerted, and before long, they seem to know exactly who you are and where to start looking. It keeps the game moving, but after years of playing, the system becomes predictable. Now look at what Rockstar repeatedly emphasizes in the GTA 6's footage. People observing, people filming, crowds reacting to whatever is happening around them. Rockstar has not confirmed that civilians will report crimes through an advanced witness system. So I am not saying that is definitely how the game works, but the repeated focus on observers suggests that ordinary NPC reactions may matter more than they did before. Imagine entering a store during a robbery. One person freezes, another one runs towards the exit. Someone nearby starts recording. That does not need to trigger an enormous new gameplay mechanic to make the situation feel different. Even varied reactions could make each robbery less predictable. The tension would not only come from the police arriving, it would come from the people around you behaving like individuals instead of one synchronized crowd. And this is where the idea gets bigger. A reactive civilian population could affect the way every chaotic moment unfolds. A crash could draw a crowd, a fight could be recorded, a robbery could send people running in different directions, a police chase could spread through areas already filled with their own activity. Again, none of that exact behavior has been fully confirmed, but Rockstar is clearly presenting Leonardo as a place filled with observers, participants, and people with lives of their own. That matters because an open world feels alive when different systems begin coddling. Traffic meets a police chase, a crowd meets a crime scene, wildlife crosses a road, a random event erupts your journey, the world stops feeling like a collection of scripted activities and start feeling unpredictable. And even if every witness theory turns out to be wrong, Rockstar has already shown something more important. The world does not appear to stop moving when the player is not causing chaos. This is the part that changed the way I think about GTA 6. At first, I was searching for one secret mechanic, one feature Rockstar had hidden. But the more footage I watched, the more I realized it was not one detail. It was the same design idea appearing again and again. Rockstar keeps showing movement that has nothing to do with the main characters. Boats cross open water. The world appears busy even when Jason and Lucia are not interacting with it. That is not a flashy selling point. You cannot summarize it with one weapon, vehicle, or minigame. It is something players may not consciously notice until they have spent hours inside the world. But that is exactly what made Red Dead Redemption 2 so memorable. You could travel towards a mission and become distracted by something unexpected. A stranger, an animal, an argument, a robbery, a situation that seemed to happen naturally because you were in the right place at the right time. These moments made the world feel larger than its map. Now imagine that same philosophy inside a modern city. More people, more vehicles, more businesses, more crimes, more opportunities for separate systems to collide. A simple drive across Leonardo could turn into a story you were never planning to experience. Not because the game forced you into a mission, because something happened around you. That is the difference between a large open world and a living one. A large world gives you distance, a living world gives you stories. And if GTA 6 can consistently create those unscripted moments, two players could travel through the same location and come away with completely different experiences. Different encounters, different reactions, different chaos, different consequences. That is when the world stops being a background. It becomes part of the gameplay. But I think Rockstar may be trying to do something even more ambitious than that. They may be changing the player's pace inside the world. For years, open world games have trained us to feel like the center of everything. The world waits for us to arrive. Characters wait for us to start missions. Events are triggered because we enter a specific location. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is how games create structure. But GTA 6 gives me the impression that Rockstar wants the player to feel less like the center of the universe and more like one person living inside it. That would explain why so much official footage focuses on moments that do not directly involve Jason or Lucia. The tourists still visit the beach, the clubs still fill up, the traffic still moves, the boats still cross the water, the wildlife still exists beyond the city. Life appears to continue regardless of what the player chooses to do. And that could make even the quiet moments feel important. Driving without a destination, walking through a neighborhood, sitting at the traffic light, watching something strange unfold across the street. None of those activities sound impressive on a feature list, but they are the moments that can make players forget they are moving through a designed environment. Graphics become normal after a few hours. Players adjust to the lighting, reflections, and visual details, but unpredictability does not become normal as quickly. A world that continues surprising you can stay interesting for years. That may be why Rockstar is not only trying to show us what GTA looks like, they are trying to show us what it feels like to exist there. And once I started viewing the trailers that way, I stopped thinking only about missions. I started imagining the moments between them, driving through Vice City at night, exploring the keys without an objective, entering a business just to see what's inside, following something unusual because it caught my attention, getting distracted and forgetting where I was originally going. Those are the experiences that could define GTA 6, not because they were shown in the cutscene, because the world made them possible. At the beginning of this video, I said Rockstar may have been hiding GTA 6's biggest feature, but after looking through the footage again, I do not think they have been hiding it. They have been placing it in front of us the entire time. We were just focused on the main characters. While we studied Jason, Lucia, the cars, and the graphics, Rockstar kept showing us everything happening around them. The people, the traffic, the businesses, the wildlife, the reactions, the ordinary moments that made a place feel believable. Maybe there is not one secret feature that changes everything. Maybe the real upgrade is that all of these smaller systems appear to be working together. That is a much harder achievement than creating a larger map. Maps can be measured, graphics can be compared, but the feeling that a world exists without you is much more difficult to explain. You can only understand it after spending time there. San Andreas is remembered for freedom, GTA 4 is remembered for its grounded atmosphere and physics, GTA 5 is remembered for its scale and possibilities, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is remembered because this world felt like it had a life of its own. GTA 6 may be Rockstar's attempt to bring all of those lessons together. The scale of GTA 5, the atmosphere of GTA 4, the world design of Red Dead Redemption 2, all inside a modern version of Vice City and Leonardo. If Rockstar succeeds, players may not remember GTA 6 only because it looked realistic. They may remember it because the world behaved in the ways they did not expect, because ordinary drives become stories, because random encounters felt personal, because the city appeared to continue living after they turned the game off. And that is when I realized something. I'm not only excited to complete GTA 6, I'm excited to simply exist inside it. Do you think Rockstar is building a truly living open world, or are we reading too much into the trailers? Let me know in the comments. I want to see what details you notice that everyone else may have missed.